YouTube! It is Saturday afternoon and I'm going to give you a supplementary video today with some extra information about the costs of running my business, and this comes directly from a comment that White Van Man gave me very kindly. I really appreciate the comments that everyone gives, and I think it shows the value of the interactions in YouTube, because he gave me a perspective that I hadn't really thought about before. And so let me explain what that is. When I started the YouTube channel, my primary focus was to tell people the realistic financial gains of doing this job and costs. And I therefore set myself the target of £250 per day earnings. And it was always under the understanding that that would cover my personal expenses, my personal savings, and my business costs. And I left it at that, and I assumed that that would be enough information. On reflection, I think that business costs is not enough detail. So I'm going to use this video to explain what those costs are and what my daily cost comes out as a result of that. And that's what I got from the comments, that the idea that I need to be a bit more transparent about the whole costs. I focused a lot on the fuel and took that away from what I was earning, but I think if you're brand new to this, you might not be aware of the other costs that are involved. So before I go through the costs, they're all going to be based on annual figures, and before I go through them, I want to caveat them to say that some of them will be absolute accurate figures, but some of them are unknown, and I've therefore guesstimated on some figures, and where I've guesstimated, I've gone on the upper end of what I think it's going to be. So the total at the end will be a realistic figure for the annual cost, but I won't know for sure until the end of the year what I've actually paid. And obviously when I get to that point, I will disclose the actual amounts at the end of the year, very much like Dave at Avolitions did recently with his first year results, which are really useful. Actually, think about it, maybe I'll put a link to that video. It's in my 20 videos for new starters playlist, so I should go there if you want to see it. So here is my list of expenses for my business and the costs for them. The first one I've got down is my insurance. That covers my hire and reward insurance, goods in transit for £50,000, my public liability for £5 million. And I've guesstimated a figure for this year. I've guesstimated £3,500, which I think is way over what I'm going to end up paying, but I wanted to be on the negative side in terms of guessing. I'm currently insured, and my insurance at the moment for this year is around about £1,800 for all those. And the reason why I've upped it is for two reasons. I think that this year the cost of living has meant that insurance is going up generally across the board, but also I'm doing a lot more mileage now than I was doing in my previous role, and I don't know what effect that's going to have on the actual cost. So to be on the careful side, I've made it that much money. I'm hoping it won't be anything like that. My next cost that I've written down is breakdown cover. I've actually paid £95 this year. My next cost is vehicle tax, which is for me £290 this year. My business bank account fee is paid monthly, but over the course of a year comes to £102. My accountant and accounting software over the course of a year comes to £922, £922. My mobile phone, which I use for work, is £132 a year equivalent. My CX membership I put in as a guesstimated figure of £2,000. I don't think it'll be that high. I paid £1,600 when I joined this year, but it is going up, and just to be on the safe side, I've made it around £2,000. I'm a member of a union. My annual subs for that are £223, 223. And then I've estimated a cost for my vehicle maintenance and repairs. That would include AdBlue and screen wash. It's realistic. It's £2,400 a year. It might be on a tad on the low side because I've got a 6-year-old van, and so I might be getting to the point where it's a bit more than that. But for my next figure I'll give you, I've kind of thought, well, if I overestimate the next figure, I'm happy with it being 2,400. Obviously, over the course of time, repairs and everything generally goes up for older vans, and my plan is to keep my van for another 4 years, so that I've got time to save up money for my next van. The last business cost that I've got is equipment and stationery. That's basically everything else that I pay for the business. I've put it down as £2,400 a year. I don't think I'm going to spend anything like that, to be honest. But as I said, I've overestimated that just to be on the safe side. It's things like I've bought a printer recently for home, my straps, anything to go in the van. So it's an overestimate, I think, but to some extent that will compensate if I've underestimated my van costs for servicing. So that all comes up to £12,064 for the year. I'm adding one more thing on there, which is an estimate for van depreciation. Now, there are lots of ways which you can account for van depreciation, and I do it in the way that I feel comfortable with, which is this way. I think of van depreciation as amount of money that I should save each week or month that will then go towards replacing my van when I no longer need my van is no longer usable. And I've just put that as a figure of £100 a week, so £5,200 a year. And the idea is that I would save that amount of money in a savings account over the course of 2, 3, 4 years, and then have that money available to help me fund a replacement van when I need to. That's how I like to think of depreciation. There are other ways in which you can do it. Anyway, the point is, when you put that into my business costs, I then have a total annual cost of £17,264, which, as I said, is an estimate. That is equivalent to £1,439 a month, or £332 a week. Next, I've tried to work out a daily amount using two different ways of doing it. The first way is I've worked out if I work 46 weeks a year, 5 days a week on average, then that's 230 working days a year. So if I divide 230 days into the total amount of 17,264, that gives me a daily amount for my business cost of £75.06. I then worked out based on mileage. So at the moment I'm averaging about 371 miles a day in my job, and I worked out that over the course of a year I would be doing about 75,000 miles of mileage. So if I divide 75,000 miles into £17,264, that means that for every mile that I'm driving, my business costs 23.02 pence. If I then make that a day with my average of 371 miles a day, my cost for running my business based on mileage would be £85.39. No, sorry, £85.40 effectively, rounding up, a day. Now obviously that's an estimate because it's based on the mileage I do in a day. That's based on an average, which could change over time. But I think it's a realistic average. So taking those two figures, effectively £75 a day or £85 a day, I'm going to choose the midpoint, £80 a day, as a fixed amount that I need to earn every day to cover for my business costs. So from now on, I'm going to be incorporating that into any stats that I give you. So going back to my original figures, £250 a day. If you take off £80, that leaves £170 a day after fuel that I will try to earn. And that £170 a day is going to cover my personal expenses, my personal savings, and my tax. So I hope that's useful. I will give accurate figures at the end of the year as to what it all actually comes to. But for now, I'm only 4 and a bit months in, so I think that's a reasonably good estimate if you're starting this business. Thank you very much for your comments and for listening to this video. What have you learnt today?